लगा के मिट्टी का तू बाजी आज लगा ले, ओ तिलक लगा के मिट्टी का तू बाजी आज लगा ले, तुझ में जो चिंगारी है उस शोला आज बना ले, जान लगा के खेल खिलाड़ी, ओ जान लगा के खेल खिलाड़ी, साथ हमेशा स्पोर्ट्स इंडी, शान बढ़ा तू रहे अगाड़ी, जीत की भाषा स्पोर्ट्स इंडी, 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 स्पोर्ट्स इंडी।
Namaskar and a very good evening. Hello and welcome, lovely people. We bring to you one more episode of the world of sports on the Sportsindi channel. How are you? I hope all well. Well, this program is produced by Miti Group, borrowing on the idea presented by Supriya Badve, who's the CEO of Sportsindi. Well, in the last few episodes, looking at them, watching them eagerly, waiting for them, and gaining so much. Haven't you gained much of an understanding of sports and the culture of sports through all these programs that we have got to you? We continue this time as well our discussion on the importance of sports complexes in the field of sports, as today we will talk about Divisional Sports Complex Mankapur in Nagpur. Definitely so. But before that, before we start our discussion and our conversation with the expert today, may I invite on this show Supriya Badve, who's the founder and the CEO of Sportsindi and executive director of the Badve Group. Supriya ji, warm welcome to you.
Very good evening, Priya, and thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the show and keep having you on the show as well all the time. Today we will have with us Shekhar Patil, who's the Deputy Director, Sports and Youth Service, Nagpur Division. Shekhar ji, a very warm welcome to you on the show.
Good evening.
So before we go ahead, may I introduce Shekhar Patil, who has done his BSc and also BP Ed and MP Ed. That is, of course, about bachelor's in physical education and master's in physical education. He was selected in sports department through an MPSC examination. He is from the 2000 batch, was first posted as Taluka Sports Officer in Nashik and then as District Sports Officer at Dhure and then Nandurbar, Akola, Washim, Buldhana, Ahmednagar. He has gained a lot of experience by being in these places. Now, as Deputy Director of Sports Nagpur since June 2021, he has been handling equally important responsibilities. Well, considering the field of sports, he has been interested, like many people in India, in cricket, and he has played cricket, athletics, football, kho and all other games as well. He has worked as organizing committee member of Commonwealth Youth Games in 2008, which were held in Pune, and also at the same time World Schools Badminton Games 2017 Pune, National Youth Festival, which was held in Pune in 2007, and of course all Shiv Chhatrapati Sports Awards function, which have been conducted by the government of Maharashtra. He has been there for that. Khelo India Games 2018 at Pune as well. He has been he's been a member of that, and he has tremendous experience not just in being a part of games as a player, but at the same time organizing them and taking them forward as well. Supriya ji, would you like to formally welcome Shekhar Patil ji on our program today?
Yes, sure. So, on behalf of Sports India team, I want to welcome you, Shekhar ji, for this program. And really, we are looking forward to hear from you your views about sports complexes. So, a very warm welcome to you from all of us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So, Shekhar ji, here comes the barrage of questions. They'll hit you, but I'm sure some of these answers are the ones which we are really looking forward to hearing from you. But let me start from the very basic, very simple. You have been a part of sports as well as the youth affairs. So, what, according to you, is the importance of sports for the youth as well as for the nation?
Sports is the first thing that any child or infant is the basic activity he involved in the starting his life. In my mind, sports is a total personality development system, in fact, because At the every section of life, every person's life, sports play an important role. Because in my mind, just I would like to say in Hindi that कि जो भी खेल के मैदान पे खेला है वो जिंदगी के मैदान पे कभी हार नहीं सकता.
क्या बात है.
So my opinion is that it's very vital role played by sports in everyone's life, especially in youth's lives. Because recent years we're looking that everybody going for their best career in academic career right now. But in my mind, that sports can play an important role in their lives too, because nowadays we saw Sachin Tendulkar or PV Sindhu or all the players just like Virat Kohli, even our Olympians, all they got not only the cash prize, not only the awards, but they all get all the respects from the society in the very early ages. In fact, our national awards, all the national awards and our prime award that Bharat Ratna is got to the Sachin Tendulkar, who was the most eldest person in our country. That's why I would like to say that for the youth, sports play an vital role, important role in their lives.
That's true. I would want to take this question a little ahead because I started with it as well, and maybe you can extend a bit on that. One, yes, sports for all, particularly sports for youth, and now talking about sports for the nation. Because let me connect this one as well. Today, India has about 52% of its population, which is below the age of about 35, I would say, which is a more working population. This is the population that contributes to the nation. This is the population that contributes to the economic development and the growth and the culture and everything that one can talk about. If we have to take the nation further, we have to depend on this population. Now, you please connect it with the concept of sports that we have so much been discussing for the last few episodes, and once again with you. How will this now go ahead to reflect in the nation?
Yes, so definitely, because India is near about 52% of young population. India is a young country.
That's right.
Everybody is knows about that. But I think we should utilize this young population in the positive manner. And sports is the best way to use this energy of that youth into a positive manner and developing to the nation. That's why sport can play important role in the development of nation. In fact, in my mind, if government if able to increase just 10% of uh, their grants
Hmm.
which are now going on, in case they if they can increase 10% of grants, my opinion is that the three departments can reduce their 30% of grant, just like law and order department. Because we know that if the law and if there is any problem, law and order can occur in the country. There is a bhaichara games, Kaume Ekta games can be organized.
Hmm. Hmm.
Health department can reduce their lot of budgets, because of if the sports can use as a sports culture in our country. And social welfare department too, if these three departments are focused on the if the sport departments are focused on their all the activities, we can decrease all the problems in three departments too. That's why is the nation building sports can play an important role in my mind.
I think that's really enlightening. I never thought about this point about the three departments reducing their budget in order to contribute to something which is so vital and can be so, positive for the nation. I would want to go ahead and add one more, not a department which can reduce, but rather add on to it, and that is about education as well. If we integrate sports culture in our formal educational system, I think obviously that can also help. Hopefully, you agree with that, Shekharji.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Coming to other part of it, what do you think are the required? Because there are so many sports, there are multiple of sports, there are indoor sports and outdoor sports, but there is something about the sports personality which is very vital and very different. What, according to you, are the requirements of sports people or sports person, whichever the field of sports?
Yes. In fact, sport person should require so many things. First, the sports facilities. We should have to produce more sports complexes, sports activities, sports fields for the players, because 140 crores of population we have. And now, if we create a lot of sports stadiums, sports facilities, in fact, in the rural areas too. Nowadays, there are many sports complex, sports facilities are there in the urban areas or
Right.
metro areas. But we have to go in the rural areas where the sports person have a lot of potential.
Hmm.
But in fact, government, we are going to the taluka levels too. Maharashtra government had a taluka sports complexes there, but
Hmm.
also NGOs, corporate sectors, and other bodies should go to the rural areas, because if we government and corporate sectors will go in the rural areas, we can get lot more sports person in that areas too. And even that, not only the sports facility but the sports equipments, major lacuna in our system is there is a coach should be needed here.
Hmm.
Nowadays Neeraj Chopra is in US for his advanced training too.
True.
That's why sports coach will most important for the all the medals and all the sports cultures we should have to create in our country. That is third thing. After that, we have to support for the sports medicine, sports psychologist should be there. Proper diet should be given to the sports persons, and I think society should give support to the sports persons too, because in our days our parents said that just concentrate on study, not to the sports. In fact, in I would like to say in Hindi that हमारे जमाने में कहते थे कि पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो बनोगे नवाब, खेलोगे कूदोगे तो बनोगे खराब।
Hmm.
आज के दौर में समय बदल रहा है, तो
Hmm.
पेरेंट्स ने ये देखना चाहिए कि पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो बनोगे नवाब, लेकिन खेलोगे कूदोगे तो बनोगे लाजवाब।
क्या
So the
बात है?
parents should look positive to the sports field too.
Yes.
That
Yes.
I think I would like to say that society should support the sports person as well.
Hmm.
These all things is important for the sports person. Proper coaching, proper equipments, proper sports facilities, and support from the society.
Correct. And taking a cue from there, let me ask you the next one, which is about the benefits of sports complexes, because that's what we have been discussing for the last few episodes on the sports indie. What do you think, or what, according to you, are the benefits of sports complexes?
Important things is in my mind that what is the role of the school in the in the education of the child. That is the same that the sports complex is most important for the player to perform him, to activity, to the practice for him. Sports complexes making a vital role in the development of sports in our countries, because proper training should be given to the sports person in sports complexes, proper activities, proper environment, and in fact is there is all the support from the sport fraternity given to him in sports complexes. So Maharashtra government had developed divisional sports complexes, district sports complexes at district level, and taluka sports complexes at taluka levels. In fact, our milestone in sports department's milestone is in Pune, the Balewadi Sports Complex.
Right.
Maharashtra is a prime sports complex is there, and we all know that there is a international sports facilities is there. Lot of international competitions held there, and lot of more many people, many sports persons day to day practicing there. In our Mankapur Sports Divisional Sports Complex in Nagpur, lot of people, even Malvika Bansod,
Mm-hmm.
who some days ago defeated Saina Nehwal. She
Mm-hmm.
was practicing in our stadium too.
Oh,
So
is it
the
okay?
sports complexes is the important activity, important place for the players to develop their sports, to develop their career, to develop day-to-day practices, and not only the practices for the entire organization of competitions too.
True. I think that makes a lot of sense. Supriya ji, let me come to you now in this context, because that this discussion which we have been having now with Shekhar ji, where he does talk about, and he seems really honest and quite passionate about his work and things that he believes in when it comes to the whole area of sports. But now let me bring it to a little different context. Here we have been talking about sports complexes. And of course, we have been talking about sports personalities and how it helps people who want to play games. I want to take you on a different track for a moment. Do you think that an outdoor sports complex could be or should be an integral part of a community and not be restricted only to sports people? Do you think that having a sports complex, as Shekharji said, within a taluka, within an urban region, or wherever, do you think having a sports complex as this helps a larger community as well?
Yes, I think so. Yes, because see what we discussed over last three, four, or maybe more than five, six episodes of Sports Indie discussion about all sports complexes. So I feel yes, sports complexes are really for all who love sports.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the sports persons who want to pursue their career, sports complexes are playing a bigger and vital role for shaping their career. But apart from that, see, as a family, if I want to visit sports complex, and I think in one of the episodes, our speaker has specifically mentioned how in COVID this all family has gained some good experiences out of these sports complexes. So I feel yes, it means when we are looking at sport complexes as a destination where everyone can go, everyone can enjoy. So maybe say from a family, if suppose a daughter is say pursuing a sports as her sports career, and if family is accompanying her, and if other facilities are available there, say swimming tank is there, maybe walking track is there, and maybe volleyball ground is there, and other members of family, if they want to come accompany that daughter of that particular family, and during her practice, if they can avail these facilities,
True.
sports complex can be utilized at most at large. So maybe I think yes, it should be integral part of the community. And maybe uh, what we are nowadays looking at sports is it's a fitness tool. So like
Mm-hmm.
gaining something out of sports as a career, gaining some achievements, maybe awards, contributing for the nation, contributing at international level is of
True.
course a very pride, and it's always a very happy moment for all of us. But apart from that, if family looks at the sports complexes as a fitness tool development center, so of course sports complexes should be a part of integral part of community. And see maybe sometimes it happens that nowadays, now see, even say age is not a bar nowadays. See a few of my friends are there who have started their career after 40. They are pursuing badminton, and they have just gained very much good success in badminton. So nowadays the concepts are totally changing. And yes, if at all say when at such level, when we discuss about our bucket list, and suppose say if today tomorrow I want to say start or pursuing badminton as my one of my sports. So of course there is this facility is there where I can go, I can just avail and that facility, I can utilize that facility for my development in sports. And I think yes, because of this I feel outdoor sports complexes are used for non-sporting events also. And everyone from the family or friends, if we want to have say, see, I'm not looking sports as only maybe restricted to as a career, maybe as a fun element, as an
Mm-hmm.
entertainment element. If
Recreation
I want
also.
to go and I want to have fun out of sports, so it is quite possible to visit different sports complexes, and I can enjoy, I can have fitness, I can have healthy hour of my life. So in totality, yes, it I feel yes, they should be integral part of community and not restricted to only sports person.
Thank you for that. Shekharji, let me come to you. What, according to you, since you have dealt so much, in the field of sports and have organized as well, according to you, what do you think should an ideal sports complex be?
It is feels complex means there is a we have to create athletics track. Just madam says there are swimming pools there, the badminton court should be there, jogging track be there, and all the indigenous sports also, just like kabaddi, wrestling, kho, etc. And the foreign games also that we can participate in the Olympics, Asian athletics games, and the World Championship too. Just like I would like to clear that madam's opinion that there should be two types of sports complexes we should create in the city or town. Just
Hmm.
one sport complex should be for only for dedicated to the players,
True.
and the other, just like madam said, the said for a while that
Arm
for the
Janta.
adults too, and these sports complex have to create by the local self governments.
Hmm.
Sport department's job is to deliver to the sportsman only,
Hmm.
not to the civilians.
True.
Nowadays, we are facing some problems that a lot more crowd in the sports complexes, and that
Hmm.
sports complex is not just a recreation center.
True.
We have to create the sports person because
Hmm.
government, public, media, and all ask how much, how many national or international players done by the created by these sports complexes or etc.
Hmm.
So my
Hmm.
opinion is that local self government should create sports complexes for the people too.
Hmm.
Not there. There are many open places in the town, cities, right? So the local
Yes.
government should create the sports complexes and sports not need entire sports complex. The local government should create some sports activities, sports facilities there, just like jogging tracks, though green gyms, just volleyball courts, etc.
True.
But the
True.
sports
I'm thinking.
ideal sports complex is where we can create or where can develop national or international players for the
True.
nation. That is ideal sports complexes and
Hmm.
totally restricted for the amateur.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is the
So,
ideal sports complex in my mind because
considering it as a more specialized zone.
nowadays there is very much encroachment from the public on the sports facilities which
Hmm.
belongs to the sportsmen.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is our
Hmm.
experience too.
True. I'm thinking about a place which is closer to my place, which is popularly known as a Priyadarshini Park. You have the sea waves rushing in. Just it's a lovely, lovely sight there. There is a track which is dedicated completely to people, and it's a separate gate. So people who are dedicated to the sports and want to kind of gain an expertise in it and can be trained there. And then the other part of it is for the joggers and people who can just be out, looking at the sea and walking around on the jogging track. And I think it's a lovely combination of both because both are having their own space and both can be inspired by each other at the same time.
Yes, yes.
I think probably these can be areas one can look into. Shekharji, what is your role and contribution as a deputy director for sports and the youth service? Will you please explain that to us?
Yes, yes. Deputy Director of Sports is a post of divisional level. I
Hmm.
am just now Deputy Director of Sports in Nagpur, having the six district under my jurisdictions. My role is that to control all the sports activities, particularly in divisional sports complex, develop the sports complex, maintain it and manage it, give sports facilities to the players, control it, and organize the different types of division level, state level, or national levels sports competitions too. Even in the division, focus on the sports players, just like in tribal areas or remote areas, identify them and give them the sports facilities and even guide them to their sports career too. There is a much more administrative work. We have done sports competitions as well as grace marks proposals, as well
Hmm.
as the 5% reservations which is given from the Maharashtra government to the
Hmm.
players.
Hmm.
That's all implementations from my office too. Deputy Director's role is to control all the district sports offices to guide them, to support them, and to even encourage them to develop all the sports facility activities in their district respectively too.
Okay. So in this context, has there been any special effort to attract the youth towards the space in these districts and
Yes,
areas?
yes, we are focusing on the remote areas, particularly in a, tribal area just like Gadchiroli,
Hmm.
Chandrapur, Gondia. We are focusing on that. Nowadays,
Okay.
we are facing from pandemic, so there are some restrictions we had, but now we are starting there and going to the remote areas, particularly in Gadchiroli.
Hmm.
Even yesterday, my DSO met me, and he just said me that there is a one town Surajgarh there. There is a football is a very popular game in that areas. So next
Okay.
month we are going to, yes, yes, next month we are going to there and even experience there how they are
Yes.
organizing their all activities, even their daily training. And if there is a promising players, we can support them on behalf of government. And in fact, with the type with the tribal departments, we place some plans for them. We organize some competitions. We organize particular training centers for them.
Yeah, and find some hidden gems, hopefully, from these
Yes,
areas as well.
yes, yes.
Supriya ji, can I come to you for a quick question? And that is, what are your thoughts on making a sports infrastructure a very, very necessary part of the planning of every city, town, or even a village?
Yes, Priya, first of all, I just resonate what the point you mentioned about the integral facility available as a like sports complex can be an integrated facility or can be combination of dedicated to peers and dedicated to some civilians. So that is a very good point, Miss, like you mentioned about, and even Shekhar ji also mentioned very his whole thoughts on how the sports complexes are playing a bigger role in shaping the career of a sports person. I really feel yes, sports infrastructure is a very necessary part of planning, and it should start at the town planning office. I think so
Hmm.
because see our cities has developed like see over a period of time we have a very great culture and the time is changing very fast. Earlier in during our childhood sports was given importance, but that was never focused as a career of for your students for the students or maybe uh, whoever if even if that person is very great fan of sports.
Hmm.
Since last many decades the scenario is changing really. I'm so happy that now because of maybe the globalization or maybe the parents have that
Yeah.
thought process over now their children can pursue sports as a career. They can focus fully on career and maybe academics can play a secondary part in their life. So
Mhm.
this is really a great change has happened that we must appreciate because yes, it is required for a dense populated country like India that we have a lot of talent, but sports was not given importance. Now with this changing scenario, yes, now the priorities also has changing, and I think yes, now to means with all new coming smart cities or like smart cities, yes, smart cities should have playgrounds. They should have sports complexes, and they should have schools with good playgrounds. So I think this is very much required in town at town planning level, and I think very good part to share with you all that this year our Prime Minister Modi ji and even our Finance Minister Sitaraman ji, they have given very much focus to sports and good sports budget. first time it is that a good sports budget has been declared. Almost, I think it is almost 3,500 crores budget of for specifically given to sports. So I think I have question to Shekhar this. See how this budget we can utilize for betterment, for shaping of career of our sports persons, and how this budget can be more utilized for say creating more sports infrastructure in rural and even in urban areas.
Since recently the budget declared by the Union Minister, and this particularly budget is dedicated to the Khelo India scheme. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
from the I think 2017 2018, Honorable Prime Minister Sir Modi ji declared a Khelo India scheme,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to say very happily that Maharashtra is topper in the Khelo India game last three games.
Wow.
First Khelo
Mm-hmm.
India game organized by the Maharashtra, and Maharashtra was topper there, and last three times we are topper. Now Haryana will conduct the next Khelo India games. In that budget, in fact, Khelo India infrastructure development scheme is going on in our nation, and this budget declared, which budget it declared previously, which utilized on the all facilities for structure infrastructure for that. And even Khelo India training centers is running in the every district.
Okay.
In Nagpur division, there is a badminton Khelo India center in Nagpur. There is a archery in Gadchiroli. There is a boxing Khelo India center in Wardha. And just like all the games selected by the respective district sports officers, and one Khelo India center is there. And the players selected from the district,
Hmm.
they are special players, and government of Maharashtra with the support from the government of India, we are running that centers, and we will create the national as well as the international players from that Khelo India centers. And this budget is utilized on that centers and sports infrastructure nationwide.
Okay. Okay. So, Supriya, I hope that
So
answers the question.
yeah. So that's what Priya that means Shekhar ji has more precisely mentioned his views on this question you have raised, and that is more authentic and it has more scientific.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, well, we're almost coming to the end of our show today. And Shekharji, what would you like to tell the aspiring sports people about opportunities in sports, considering that you're looking at it and you would want to invite more youth to this?
There is a much more, initially, when we are starting the discussion, I said that there is a much more opportunity in sports. In fact, in my
Okay.
mind, sports is a silent health revolution,
Mm-hmm.
because of sports is not just an activity. In my mind, sports should be lifestyle. And if
True.
just Supriya Madam earlier said that every citizen should play with interest, in my mind, we do not count just in medals.
Hmm.
I think we should create a sports culture in our country. If we able to create sports culture in country, medals will come easily.
True.
Not
True.
necessary, because when the Olympic will come, media people and all everybody ask to us that how many medals will come.
Hmm.
But I think if we success to create a sports culture in our country, medals is easily to come. So there is much more opportunity for the youth, for the alls in sports career, that even they can play for their state, for their country, and in every game, even not only they get the money, they get the prize, but they get the fame and the career too. And after
True.
that, even when they retire, they will into the next career as a coach, as a trainer, as an instructor, as a organizer, and all these things. So the sports has a lot of opportunities for the career for the youth too. So I appeal on behalf of this on this occasion. I would like to appeal all the youths in our country that come and play.
Thank you. Shekhar Patil, Deputy Director, Sports and Youth Service at the Nagpur Division, has been with us. And Shekharji, we can completely understand how busy you have been with all the paperwork as well as the field work, as I would say. But thank you
Yes.
for sparing your time on the show today. And as he has given us the message, just come and play. It's as simple as that. So keep that in mind. And we come to an end of the show. We will definitely see you next Saturday, sharp at 5 p.m. on the Sports Indie channel. Till then, happy playing.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.